Hittin Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Ovi Muniz, and with me I have my co-host, Big Jace. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right, and I got a newest member of the Hittin Wrestling Show. My guest is Jay Green.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Doing all right. Enjoying it.
All right. So, hey, welcome aboard. I'm glad you're with us. A lot of news that's coming up, but first let's talk about the recap of what's happening on SmackDown and Raw. We're going to start off with SmackDown. Shinsuke Nakamura and Roman Reigns had a match for the Intercontinental title match, but for some odd reason, Baron Corbin decided to interrupt and the match ended in a disqualification. Shorty G defeated Curtis Axel. The New Day and Heavy Machinery defeated the Revival and Dolph Ziggler and Rude. We had the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley and Sasha Banks making a statement to the rest of the women's division on Miz TV. Nikki Cross won the Six Packs Challenge as she is now the #1 contender for the SmackDown title, as we're going to get ready to see in the near future Nikki Cross versus Bayley. Braun Strowman defeated Drew Gulak, and Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan defeated Shinsuke Nakamura and King Corbin. Now on to Raw. Ric Flair named Drew McIntyre to be the final member to make up Team Flair. Drew McIntyre defeated Ricochet, which was the rematch of the actual first round of the King of the Ring tournament. Aleister Black defeated a jobber dude named Jason Reynolds. Rusev attacked Bobby Lashley at a restaurant. Go figure. Finally, his true colors came out with his frustration, but yet they still were separated. More to follow on that storyline. Andrade defeated Sin Cara, in which many people really didn't know the definition what Sin Cara means. Sin Cara means without a face. Alright. Sunil Singh defeated R-Truth to become the new 24/7 champion. That's still going on. The Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, defeated Zack Ryder and Curtis Hawkins. We could really consider Zack Ryder and Curtis Hawkins the bye week of the NFL. Cain Velasquez brawled with Shelton Benjamin following a confrontation with Rey Mysterio. Again, Shelton Benjamin trying to put his face on the map. Had some issues with Rey Mysterio of why is it Cain, why not him? One of those scenarios that Dolph Ziggler did a while back. The Universal Champion Seth Rollins defeated Humberto Carrillo, which we will talk about with this controversy on signature moves. And the Street Profits, the brand new member of the Raw team, defeated the OC. So we're moving along. Quick review. We'll start with SmackDown a little bit. It's not really a storyline here, but what is the direction in which Roman Reigns is going for SmackDown, since he was the #1 pick of the draft?
Well, to me, the Baron Corbin interfering, that makes sense, seeing as how that is the Team Flair chemistry with him and Shinsuke. But I feel like the real direction they're going is to make this super tag team with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. They continue to keep winning, and sooner or later they just got to shake hands and they got to say, hey, let's go for the belt. Because especially now with I'm sure we'll get to it later, the Xavier Woods injury, SmackDown could use a top face tag team, and Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan could make that happen.
I understand what you're saying, but the thing is that this is Roman Reigns being the #1 pick. And normally when you're a #1 pick, there's only one title that you're chasing, and that's the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So is there something in line that maybe we could see down the road for WrestleMania? Because the start of the road to WrestleMania is coming up next month. So why not have him, Roman Reigns, whether heel or babyface, go against the winner between Kane and Brock Lesnar?
I don't want to see Roman and Brock again, though.
That one's
been overplayed as much as a rivalry can get.
There's a reason why.
That's just as played as Seth and Brock. I mean, it's the same.
You're right. You're absolutely right, and I totally understand. But this is now on SmackDown. This is on Fox. Scenarios are going to be different, and Fox has their say-so when it comes to running the show. You know what I mean? So why not? Why not this time around be the final? Because every time they match up, there's always a controversy. There's always the way it finished and stuff like that. And Roman Reigns never really lost that title.
Yeah, right. He had to give it up.
He had to give it up because he had cancer.
Yeah.
He beat cancer. Now he's back, and he hasn't had a title. And the closest thing he had was the Intercontinental Championship. Unless that's the road that they're going for him, is to be the Intercontinental Champion. I
can see that. I think Kane and Brock, that's a good enough rivalry with what has happened in the UFC, and they're both big names. They both will sell whatever. I think that's a good enough rivalry to continue from Crown Jewel all the way to WrestleMania. So I think Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, two big faces of WWE, teaming up, going on a tag team run. We know how much success both of them have had as tag teams with Roman Reigns and the Shield, and then Daniel Bryan and Team Hell No. So I do like something there. Maybe the Intercontinental Championship, but just the way they've been grouping together Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns just makes me think that's going to be the next big tag team.
So back then, they were trying to do Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, and it fell short, and that's how Eric Rowan got in the way, and which we saw the match between them two. Can you see a possibility down the road that maybe that's not what they're going for, and maybe somehow, some way, there might be some friction to where Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns turn at each other?
I think so. The thing with that is Daniel Bryan was obviously just barely heel. So him coming back to face, it does make it seem weird, this flip-flop with him. If Roman Reigns turned heel, that'd be something I'm in for. People have been asking for it a long time. So maybe if something like that happened. But I think I just like them as a tag team. I think that'll be something that we will see.
All right. So SmackDown Division Women's Champion Bayley has a potential opponent named Nikki. And she's your favorite.
Yeah, she's my favorite women's superstar. I love Nikki. Nikki's awesome. I'm excited to see this. Sadly, though, I think this is going to turn into Nikki being the first meet in this for this heel Bayley to get through.
I see a lot of combinations on this. So we saw Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They were tag team champions. But before that, Alexa Bliss was trying to go for the belt. Now they got traded to SmackDown. Nikki won. She's the number one contender. Do you see maybe this time around they could make them two match up and someone will turn their backs at each other? Could that be? Could be jealousy in the way?
Maybe. I just feel like after you're having Bayley turn heel and everything, it seems like all of SmackDown right now, the main focus is Bayley. Bayley's the one making noise when she came out and destroyed her two people, her Bayley buddies, as she calls them. Mm-hmm. That got so much noise, so much clout. Like there's videos of little kids crying.
Oh,
that
she really
viral.
took it to it. She took it to her heel turn was good.
This is the heel version of Becky Lynch last year. This is a meteoric rise, I think, we're seeing here. But this time it's heel, not face.
Yeah.
So where does this leave with Sasha Banks?
Sasha can play she can play middle from with this because she can go either way. Because what Bayley and her they're still close. So I mean, if Bayley's going that heel route, I mean, she can swing.
Yeah.
But would they set up something again between Bayley and her?
We've seen that before.
Because they remember how they played them before. When she played the heel against Bayley when Bayley was Miss Goody Goody. Now, I can see it being a flip.
Maybe. I don't know. That's tough. I have been a very strong advocate of separating Sasha and Bayley. But I see this now being Sasha being like her manager, being her Paul Heyman, her... Ted DiBiase or something like that. Her Just being that and Bailey being the show.
Yeah, but Sasha has a tendency of being a backstabber too, man. You know, you never know what you're going to get out of Sasha. That's right. You got to always keep an eye on her, you know, because that little small stuff, we might miss it until the end and you'd be like, oh, yeah, that's right. She did do this before. But then there's another person that got drafted high, and that is Carmella.
Yeah.
So what's going to be for her? What's her role looking like? Will she be also going for the SmackDown Women's title?
She was your pick to win that match.
And the only reason why I said that is because she had a confrontation with her before she faced Charlotte.
Yeah.
You know, what's wrong? Why you turn? What's going on? She was being concerned, but then Bayley was dissing her. And then she ended up being Charlotte's partner in a tag team match. So, I don't know.
I think I think Carmella will be the next big challenger, the next big storyline for Bayley. Right now, like, there was just that the big thing happened with the Bayley buddies getting killed or whatever. And everything seems very rushed right now with Crown Jewel and all this stuff happening. So I feel like that's definitely to come. That's definitely going to be a actual storyline. But right now, I think Nikki Cross is... I like Nikki Cross a lot, but I hate to say it, I think she's filler right now.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm just checking something right now. I mean, the WWE seems to be primarily focusing around 4 females. If you really think about
the
four horsemen. So you're talking Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha, and Charlotte. If you're not in those 4, I just don't feel it. Like you said, I think she's just going to be feeling this is just the first. She's just going to be the first victim for the heel.
Yeah.
Team. So I just think that's where that's going to come in.
The weakest link right now is Charlotte Flair, because she's not on a losing streak. And then, do you want to see Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair again matching up on Raw?
No, I think the way this turns out, the way everyone is responding to this Bayley thing, I think WrestleMania, Becky versus Bayley, the man versus this new heel Bayley. I think people will buy that. I think that'll sell, and that might be big.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to do that because they're now 2 separate brands and they're not crossing over.
The Royal Rumble.
But we also have the Survivor Series that's coming up in November. That I could see when both brands go against each other. We could see champion versus champion. Unless they'll change it and make it a 5-on-5, 5 females and on both sides going at each other.
So if they put together a real female horseman like her dad used to have back in the day?
Well, that's the thing. And then...
like Charlotte's pops.
I predicted the 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I predicted that the 4 horsemen get together and make the rest of the females move up because they're already on top. How else would you bring the rest of the females? They got a lot of females.
And there's a few coming back. Naomi's coming back.
The Glow's coming back. Yes. And not really sold on Natalia. Lacey Evans, I could see her changing her character to be a positive because she is doing, outside the ring, she is a positive, she's doing positive things for the community, you know. So if you see her Instagram,
the Kabuki system, there's a lot of jeez.
Yeah, there is a lot.
Division has stepped up.
Yeah, and I could see Lacey Evans like they did with Kevin Owens. You know, Kevin Owens, they had to change his gimmick a little because of his kids. You know, now Lacey Evans is doing around tours. She has a daughter with her and stuff like that, and her husband. Yeah. You know, more family oriented. And I can see Lacey turn around, and the only way she's going to get on top is being the baby face. And I can see her having that rival. Now, things didn't work out with her and Becky Lynch, but I could see her making it happen against Bayley.
I think you got to keep Lacey.
I think I love her character.
She can still be the same, but she could be a fan favorite.
Because the way she can play if she wanted to play heel, she can. I mean, well, she's playing it now, but I mean, the way her character is presented, because she's the lady. Yeah, she can go.
She could call me nasty anytime. All right. So now let's move on to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre came back from injury. I think that was also one of the reasons why he had lost the match at King of the Ring to Ricochet, and what better than having that rematch again?
Yeah.
But now Drew McIntyre, I feel like he's in another level, and he almost lost the match. It was a long match, but he didn't show some. He impressed Ric Flair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he is
that
back
last spot,
at 5-5, and of course it had to be him because who's on the other side? The one that replaced Seth Rollins was Roman Reigns as the team captain for Team Hogan.
Yeah, but now they're on different brands.
Yeah, but for this is 5-5.
Right.
And I knew already, if you check my blog out on hhwshow.com, where I had said if Drew McIntyre shows his face, it's because Roman Reigns is there. Just because I've already mentioned Seth Rollins is going to defend his title versus Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
So I can see now Drew McIntyre in the near future getting his blessing with Ric Flair, that we will soon see him as a champion, and he will defeat Seth Rollins.
I think Drew was long overdue.
Yeah.
He should have had some gold around his waist. I really believe.
If Kevin Owens, NXT champion, ended up being 2 belts already, he's been a world champion on both brands. Why not? Drew
Dolph
McIntyre
was a champion. I mean, Dolph and Drew first came in together. I mean, if you're going to let Dolph get it, come on. Drew was a monster when he first came in.
Yeah.
Then took the sabbatical or whatever, and then came back.
He
and
was
tripled his size.
He was,
this dude was a monster.
Yes. Well, that 3-man beat kind of ruined his character.
Yeah.
But
Drew has to. I'm kind of a little fed up with Seth Rollins, so I'm hoping for it to be later. Drew's the guy to dethrone Seth Rollins, whether that's Survivor Series, whether that's WrestleMania. Drew is going to be that guy. I think he was scheduled to be that guy, and this injury got in the way. But Drew is for real, and he needs to be in that title hunt. He needs to be the top heel. He needs to be the top heel at Raw.
All right. And it's good that he separated himself from Shane McMahon.
Yes.
Because now he's solo. He's doing his thing. And what better than have somebody like Ric Flair? I think I'll pick Ric Flair as his manager. Because he's good in the mic.
That's something that the WWE is missing. Because that was something that they had, that managers played Jimmy Hart and Bobby Heenan.
And they need people like that, man.
They need those guys.
You need more Paul Heymans in there that know how to get on the mic, hype things up, and we don't see much of that.
Yeah, we had Paul and Leo Kane. It was only 2, right?
Yeah.
That was it. I mean, we got to bring back the managers, and that if they did that could help some storylines because these guys play major parts in that.
Yeah.
So they can have the managers heel, play and setting this guy up for the guy he's got, and
I mean, look at Sami Zayn right now with Shinsuke Nakamura. I love that.
Yes and no, only because I want to see Sami Zayn in the ring.
Yeah,
because he's good on the mic, and as of late, he's been like the losing guy. Like I guess he's helping everybody else move up. You know what I mean? Which I don't understand why, because he is a potential world heavyweight champion.
Yes.
He is due for that too, because his mic skills, his ring skills. I mean, he steps out of the ring and everybody's already singing his song, whether he's good or bad or whatever. People accept him to be dissing the crowd or loving the crowd,
Yeah.
And another person is Elias. Yes, he's injured, but he's another one that always grabs my attention. Look, if you can make somebody cuss at you just by showing up, then you're doing something good. You're getting that reaction of the crowd. He deserves it. I picture Elias as like a combination of Randy Savage and the Honky Tonk Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they keep doing him wrong.
Yeah.
So anyways, more on that. Hopefully we get these guys healthy. They come back and make some noise. But the real topic on the Raw that I want to cover was the Universal Champion Seth Rollins defeating Humberto Carrillo. Now, I watched this match, and if anyone watched it the same way I watched it, I looked at it as a sports figure, okay? I was counting the points. I was counting the maneuvers, all this obstacles and aerobic gymnastics type deals that I saw in that ring. And the person that outshined Seth Rollins was Humberto Carrillo. And that's right, you heard it, all right? This guy is better than Andrade. All right, and I'm sick of it that they're making Seth Rollins being this immortal dude, which I'm sorry. He is not. I'm like you. I get upset now that every time I see Seth Rollins with that belt, because he needs to relinquish that belt. Someone needs to defeat him and get him out of the picture quickly. And this guy, Humberto, reminded me of the younger John Cena when he stepped up against Kurt Angle and he said he was ruthless, all right? Smacked him around, and even though he lost, but he lost because it is what it is. That was Kurt Angle. But Seth Rollins played that role to where he should have had lost that match. When you got that signature move against him, when he jumped off the ropes, did some kind of nasty flip and landed on him, that was it. Any other match that he would run, he would have won. Why just Seth Rollins? Why? Somebody please tell me why.
Because Seth Rollins is the guy. Seth Rollins is... You brought up John Cena and Kurt Angle. Seth Rollins is Kurt Angle in this instance at this point in time. Humberto is like, yeah, that was a great match. I loved it. I was shocked like how good it was, because last time I didn't pay attention to 205 Live. Last time I saw this kid, he was a jobber jobbing out to like Keith Lee in NXT. So for him to skyrocket, that was like a year ago. This skyrocket, him having a match with Seth Rollins and them saying, put on this great show, because even though you're going to lose, you're still getting clout. You're still gaining from this, because that is our guy, the champion. Mm-hmm. Like, that was big.
It was big. I'm telling you, the first time I seen him in action was on the last pay-per-view, and it was a triple threat match. It was him, Golek, and some other dude. That's how much I pay attention to 205. It was for the Cruiserweight title. He didn't win, but when he lost, he got back up. He said, hey, this fight ain't over yet. All right. And his mic skills, yeah, he's a Spanglish type of dude. You see the accent, whatever. That's all right. But this guy is the man. I'm telling you, he's the future. I can see it. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just going by what I actually just kind of came across something, and I'm just seeing, Gorilla. He's charismatic that they saying, but no one knows him.
Yeah.
The universe. That's what they were saying. The WWE universe does not know this guy. He hasn't built him any credibility. So they got to put him in a couple more matches with somebody, some top.
If you look at 205 and those who were dedicated 205, they would have known that, yeah, that's that guy. I mean, he has a baby face of the former boxer, Oscar De La Hoya.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I said, yeah, I could see him to reach to that, and you almost had it, and then you fall out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So anyways, I'm glad that, it's getting diverse. I've seen it. The other guy that we haven't mentioned that was drafted high in Raw, right, was Titus O'Neil. Now, Titus O'Neil is a clumsy dude. Everybody remembers him as the guy that ran down, slid underneath. And if you read his book, you understand, yeah, he took it like a man and rolled with it. You know what I mean? But I'm curious to see exactly where he's going to land, because he got drafted so high. Do they have plans for Titus O'Neil? Will he have a new gimmick to where, all right, this guy's for real? Because that dude is really tall. He's athletic. Former college football player. I don't know if he
Florida.
went to the NFL. But anyways.
He didn't play in the league. I think he was All-American though.
This guy, I think he's good, man. I mean, he was, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he a former tag team champion?
Yeah, the Primetime Players.
Yeah.
Primetime,
Yeah. So anyways, I'm curious, and that also leads to the Street Profits. Now we're talking about tag team.
Yes,
now that was an impressive main event, and you know what? That justified how good they were in NXT to come over to the brand of Raw, to be hosting every Monday on Raw, right? And that performance they did against OC, I'm so happy.
That was great. Like, I watched them on NXT. And I always, like, Montez Ford was definitely the better in-ring performer from what I saw at NXT. But Angelo Dawkins brought it, and I was just super... They both were great. I thought that I knew they were good on the mic. I thought that their weakness was their in-ring work, but they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And also, there's just something about them. Something about them. They got it. They have it. They're going to be big.
Oh, yeah.
Also, their entrance where they're running through the crowd, like that is just just something about
So what that remind you
making
of?
them great.
What that remind you of?
Shoot.
Remember Shawn Michaels back in the days?
Yeah.
The Rock and Roll Express, right? Was that called Rock and Roll Express?
Him and Marty.
Him and
Marty Jannetty.
Yeah. That reminded me of them. They were liked upon, everything else, charismatic, jumping everywhere, you know. And they had a rivalry. I forgot who it was. Anyways, they reminded me of them. And I was like, you know what? They can make things happen. But there's somebody in their path. And that tag team is AOP. I'm already sick and tired of them doing promos without being in the ring. It's time for them to come on back and get ready and make some noise. Because now, not only that, but they also have the Viking Raiders, the tag team champions. They're undefeated. You know what I mean? So, are we going to see that match pretty soon? Or is those are going to escalate all the way to later? Are we going to see... I got a feeling that for WrestleMania, we're going to see a high-class, finally, a tag team match for the titles. It's going to be worth watching.
I think, yeah, I agree with that. I think for SmackDown, New Day has been that team that's really elevated it. And for Raw, at first I thought it was going to be the Viking Raiders, but I mean, based off that match on Monday, the way like the OC is solid, but bringing them up to that level too, this is a team that isn't just going to make themselves look good. They're making other people look good, and they are elevating this division.
And the team that's coming back soon to Raw is the Usos.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Because Naomi's coming, and guess who else she's bringing with them? The Usos.
Yeah, because
when the Usos and the Street Profits go at it, that's going to be a great mic.
Oh.
Yeah,
The best
that's gonna be a mic
As
battle.
a matter of fact, that should be their first pay-per-view match is them versus the Usos.
So wait a minute, hold on. So Usos have to play the heel then?
Usos could play any way. It doesn't matter because they
love playing the heel.
That doesn't matter if they're good or bad. I mean, it's their exactly. So it's going to work out great.
Them two on it, Dawkins and Jimmy or Jay Uso on them.
It's going to be fabulous.
Because that kid, Dawkins is a natural on the mic, man.
And the thing is, this is just right because their rivalry, AEW, with their tag team tournament going on.
Yeah.
You got the Lucha Brothers, man, over there on that side, and they are for real. They mellow, baby. I'm telling you, they're freaking awesome. But with what they doing for the tag teams,
the tag team division like they used to. I mean, in years past, I mean, they would focus and they would give specific check on that because when they had Rock and Sock, whatever that be with Mick Foley and Rock, I mean, they focus every now and then. They'll start getting that focus where like let's focus on tag teams.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? When Teddy Long was there, he had the whole tag team thing. He was just doing nothing but tag teams.
Yeah,
they put together, and that's how the whole show was created. We'll tag you two up. Let's go.
Yeah. The same thing they did with Chris Jericho. I mean, Chris Jericho was a tag team champion with a lot of wrestlers. So, but it's been pretty interesting to see what direction Raw is going because right now Raw is in favor of the best tag team division over SmackDown. So, I mean, we got the Revival as a tag team, but it's Heavy Machinery versus them as they're going to live up to that hype.
Heavy Machinery's fun, dude.
No, they fun. It's pretty interesting. But you got the Viking Raiders, two heavyweights that they perform as they were like 100 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They maneuver them rings, and it's just pretty awesome to see the way how they started the tag teams back in the days to what it is now. It's pretty amazing.
I feel like right now, it's always been either Raw or SmackDown has a solid tag team division and the other one is lacking. I feel right now they're really solid. I like Heavy Machinery. I like the New Day. I like the Revival. And then on Raw, I like the Street Profits. I like Viking Raiders. I like the OC. I like AOP when they eventually make their way over there. Tag teams are fun right now.
It is. It is.
Legend Brothers back.
And the best thing about it is that they have their way of interacting with the audience, whether it's in the stadium, in the centers, or on television. You got the reaction, and Twitter is just filling up, and that's the reason why you got WWE, whatever show they're on, that's trending worldwide, one of the top. So good for them. But the biggest trend that was going on this weekend, combining both shows, was Ric Flair. I mean, people were nervous to see if Ric Flair was going to mess up. Because a lot of people were thinking, is he drunk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when he started hyping up, I was like, he's going to say something wrong? You know what I mean? But he did all right. He did all right being beside Drew McIntyre. But he got me nervous. I was like, oh, what he going to say? He going to drop the ball? Because before that, when he was on Miz TV and he was going against Hogan and Miz were trying to get him back into the script. You know what I mean? You could tell that he was going off script because he was stuttering. And he hardly doesn't stutter. But when he gets all hyped up, anyway.
He hasn't been saying since he got back his health issues. So
He might have a lot to do with it.
But sometimes I feel like I hope he doesn't get a heart attack on live TV. You know what I mean? I mean, the King did,
Yeah.
So that was a scary moment.
Yeah.
But hopefully, he was 70 years old and he's still running it like he was like 20. That's pretty awesome.
Dude, he's the crazy drunk uncle at the
He even went to
dude.
Atlanta Falcons game and he was already broadcasting on Instagram.
Come on, hang with us. The Amigos will hang out with him. Come on.
All right, so that's a quick recap of what's going on with SmackDown and Raw, and that leads us to some of the rumors that's speculating right now. We had it just a week ago, but talking about what could also be potential later down the road. Edge was supposedly cleared to wrestle again. Do you see him coming back? And if so, who you think he's going to match up with?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know as an opponent for who he could come back and face. Maybe Randy Orton comes to mind for some reason. I don't know. But seeing him back in the WWE ring, I'm in. Sign me up. I'm sold. I mean, he had the same problem that Daniel Bryan had, and Daniel Bryan obviously was able to come back from it. So I'm excited to see. I hope he is fully healthy, and I hope he is cleared. But if he is and he comes back, I'm excited to see that.
That just brings us some. That's the era. He's from the era, so you bring that attitude back because that's what they're missing.
Yeah,
they're missing that attitude. They're missing somebody that's cut in. I mean, if he comes in back into the room, and after that neck injury, that was serious.
And with technology these days, going through all the rehab and everything.
If he's able to get back and put those tights on and get back into the square.
I mean, he did get the spear to Elias.
God bless him.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's an indicator.
That's an indicator right there. Yeah. Something.
So now you have that. I think it would be cool if Edge was to face Seth Rollins. If all was to fail on whatever storylines they have ready for Seth Rollins, why not? No difference than having The Rock versus Cena. That type of deal. You come back, you're already a legend, you're a Hall of Famer. Now you're going to let me test his abilities with Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins has a good resume, not as equal as John Cena.
Yeah.
Right? But it's close to it because he's already accomplished a lot in a short amount of time. So
he'll turn.
Yeah, I think so.
This would be the perfect. That's a perfect. If you set it up like that, this would be a perfect time for a heel turn, whether it be Edge or Rollins. Either one of them can switch, and I think that might be the one to save it.
That'd be interesting.
Okay, Sheamus, possibly he's coming back. Right, and if he does, should he become solo or should he partner up with Cesaro again?
The bar back?
I think you got to bring the bar back. I mean, what has Cesaro been doing since he left?
Helping other people.
Yeah.
And guess who else he's going to help? Mansoor, which is on WWE Crown Jewel. Them two are going to battle each other. How did that match happen? It's the King of Swing versus the King of last year's Crown, that Battle Royal. So, yeah, I'm still just not. I'm not sold on those type of matches, to be honest with you. But it's one of those things where you're gonna win again for his home country. That's the way I see it.
It was early in the Hard Hittin' Wrestling show win that Super Showdown or whatever.
Right.
And I got worked up and I yelled and I screamed about that. And something tells me after Crown Jewel, same thing's going to happen because Mansoor is not on Cesaro's level.
I don't think anyone's in Cesaro's level, and I'm just surprised that he keeps losing because he should be one of the contenders for the title.
Yeah, he should definitely be in the race for a belt. But, I mean, if Sheamus comes back, Sheamus and Cesaro put each other in at least a race for a tag team title, which means we get to see more Cesaro, so I'm in for that.
Okay. So, let's switch things around. We're going to play Take It or Kick It. All right. And pretty much you taking it because you accept it, or you kick it and you want to just kick it to the curb. You decline it. You don't want to see it. So we're going to start off with Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. So at the end of the segment, Kevin Owens came out of nowhere and stunned AJ Styles. All of a sudden now, we have a 20-man battle royal for Crown Jewel to see who's the number one contender to face AJ Styles later on that night on Halloween. So are you going to take it or are you going to kick it?
I will take the matchup with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, but him winning the thing at Crown Jewel, I'm kicking that. I feel like Kevin Owens is good enough to have an actual storyline, and I just don't see that happening from Crown Jewel. I feel like Ali, maybe. I don't know. You don't know what's going to happen with Crown Jewel. All you know is that no titles are going to be changed. And with Kevin Owens in the mix, you at least got to have the hope and glimmer that there is a title change in the making.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you. I'm gonna kick the 20-man. I just don't, it's last minute change. They plugged it in, and it's too much clutter. It's just too much stuff going on because they have too much stuff going on that night anyhow with the mega tag team thing that they have, and then they're having the other 6-man. So there's just way too much stuff going on in there. I just feel the 20-man. Focus on AJ, Kev. And like you said, Kevin Owens is strong enough to have his own storyline. So they need to start working with him a little bit more, getting him out there.
I'm going to kick it, and I'm going to take it at the same time. How you like that?
Like I did.
I see to where, of course, it's a filler because, WWE always wants a lot of match cards going in there, and they want to make it prolong it for because, they're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
They're getting more money doing Crown Jewel than they do in WrestleMania. Okay? So why not? Go ahead. Have fun with it. Okay? But when you come back on Monday Night Raw, I better see Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for the United States Championship, and Kevin Owens will win live on TV and carry over for the next pay-per-view, which is the Survivor Series. And then they're going to have a history with one another. All right? And then, like I said before, if you're going to go after the Universal title, okay, you can't have a belt. It's been a while since we've seen that. This ain't the Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. This is, you give up that belt, have someone else deal with that, and chase for the belt. And the rumor is still that Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for WrestleMania. So that could be a potential thing to where Kevin Owens take over the United States belt.
Somebody's going to lose a belt then.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're in that window, so we'll see what happens. We'll see. But then again, Vince McMahon likes to change things at the last minute. You know what I mean? So, okay. So, moving on. Shorty G. Do you like that name, Shorty G, for Chad Cable?
The name? No, I'm kicking that.
Kick it. Wow, that thing is getting.
But as a performer, he is great in the ring. I love watching him. Okay. Shorty Gable is a terrible name.
Shorty Gable.
All right.
They should have checked with the office now in Stanford for that one. I was like, we gonna let that one right through. No.
Well, it was Shorty Gable at first, which I kind of accepted. It's Shorty Gable, right? Because he is a shorty.
Let's say Shorty.
But then he went on to say, "Nah, you can call me Shorty G." So I'm like, ain't that sound like a female's name?
Yeah, we got a rapper named Shorty out there right now, so I don't think he wants to put him in the
unless
female
he's
rapper.
Unless he's trying to be Carly B.
She's a female rapper.
The budget Cardi B.
Low budget Cardi B.
Thrift store Cardi B. That's what that sounds like.
Oh, man.
Shorty G.
All right, so Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar.
I am taking that all day. I love Cain. Cain's my favorite MMA fighter of all time. In the infancies of this show, Ovi and I were talking off mic, and I said, watch out. Cain Velasquez has been training. He's coming into whether or not it is AEW or WWE, happens to be WWE, and now we're getting a rematch of Brock Lesnar. Oh my goodness, I'm going to explode. I love this. I take it. It's just amazing. I'm so excited for this.
Big Show gave Cain Velasquez a nice little warning about the Monster Brock.
Yeah.
He came out and told him, do not underestimate him.
No?
Do not underestimate him.
And the Big Show does have history with Brock Lesnar. With Brock Lesnar. And also he understands, he should understand what going into the next one, which is Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman.
Before we go there real quick, Cain, he's trained for this. This and Tyson Fury and that stuff is a little different. Cain, he's had matches with Cody Rhodes. He's had matches in lower indies stuff. And Cain is just like the Viking Raiders. This dude can bring it to the air.
Oh, yeah.
And
nobody's
really seen him in action.
Well, Cain fought Lesnar.
Yeah,
they fought back in 2010.
That's the whole basis of
beat him up.
Well, yeah, UFC, but we didn't have seen him in WWE.
Yeah, Cain
is ready.
From what I've seen from the indies, and I've seen a little bit from the matches. Cain is using his Mexican heritage, and he loves that lucha libre style, so he will take it to the air. And someone that big doing
he's gonna be flying around. Whoa!
I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So what you're saying is, also, do you take it or kick it for Rey Mysterio being the manager?
Oh, I take that all day.
I take that.
You take that.
I take that.
So, do you expect Rey Mysterio to continue wrestling?
I don't know. Yes, I do. I think he will. Down the line, we will see Dominic and Ray be a tag team, father-son thing. But I think we'll see him again. He's obviously dealing with that injury, so I think we will see him again at least one more time.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last one, Team Hogan versus Team Flair. Take it or kick it.
You know what? I'm gonna take it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take it.
I mean, this is way better than having the old guys come back for an actual match.
Right.
Let them sit
in the corner and watch these guys
and that
fight.
Stuff is fun. I like it. I'm sure there'll be the managers there, so they will still be there. People who in Saudi Arabia will come and watch them, hype the crowd up. But having them actually in the ring, I don't want to see the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and all that stuff that we saw last year. I mean, I don't want to see that.
That debacle of a match between Goldberg and Undertaker.
Yes.
He was about to break each other's necks.
I got something for you.
Also, we did skip one. Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. But that was leading to Big Show. But you stopped me there. But I'm going to bring it back. Don't worry. But don't be surprised if Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair get a little piece of the action.
Nah, I don't know.
Oh, I do know. I'm not saying that they're going to be in the ring, but something's got to happen.
Maybe taking one bump or something.
Yeah.
But in the actual ring, putting on a 40-minute match,
they're not going to fly in the air. I mean, I don't know if that country has medical coverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got a different. Got the defibrillator right there. Clear. Pow.
Anyhow, and lastly, Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman. You have the world heavyweight champion, boxing champion, Tyson Fury versus the most powerful man, Braun Strowman.
Get them hands.
You take it or kick it.
This one right here, I might have to kick it.
All right. For you guys that don't know, I also do a boxing podcast, Throwing Jabs. We are also under the Clovercrest Media Group family, so you can check that out if you want. And this has been a point on our show. Tyson Fury coming over to WWE. I'm taking this. I love it. 2 matches before, Ovi and I brought it up. We spoke about it on the show. He was in the ring prior to the match with his opponent the day of weigh-ins, doing WWE stuff with his opponent, messing around, and all the boxing heads gave him so much crap for that. And then his last fight, during the weigh-in, he wore a lucha libre mask. This dude obviously has a lot of respect for the art of wrestling, and he was on First Take this past week with Triple H, and he brought up how all of his trainer, his promoter, everyone told him, no, got all angry with him for doing this. This is him making money, him pursuing a dream. Don't get in his way. His next fight isn't in line till February, and the guy he's facing has another fight. Deontay Wilder has another fight before the rematch there. So focus for the boxing fans and stuff should be on that rather than let Tyson Fury get some money doing something that he loves.
Right, you're absolutely right. And he's not the first one to do this.
Oh, no.
I mean, there's been plenty of history of boxers, which that will be coming up on the YouTube channel of all the boxers that participated in the WWE, which is, I think it's still phenomenal.
We start with the greatest of all time.
Because we not only just boxing, we got football players. I mean, on Monday Night Raw, they were in Cleveland, and they had the Cleveland Browns because that's the only victory that they're going to have is to be on TV on primetime television. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have that. Then you have, baseball fans, basketball, like LeBron James.
Shaq was
in. Him and Big Show.
I mean, Shaq, of course. I mean, future Hall of Famer for WWE right there.
It's entertainment. It's entertainment value. So that's what they're looking
at. Remember Gronk on WrestleMania?
President was...
Yeah, Trump was on there.
Yeah. Trump is a Hall of Famer.
Trump got body slammed.
Yeah, but Trump and he
got stunned.
He had one to where Vince McMahon had to shave his head.
Yeah, yeah, and they won it. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So anyhow, this is best for business, like Triple H says. It's best for business. I like the entertainment. You know what I mean? But it's just now. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it actually kind of helps if you kind of look at the thing. You brought something up about the boxing aspect because right now, boxing popularity wise is kind of diminishing.
Yeah.
If you can get a heavyweight fighter, and that's the division that always seems to, when people think about boxing, they think about the big guys. They ain't think about Floyd Mayweather or nobody.
Right.
They think about the bigger guys. So if you got a Tyson Fury who's a heavyweight, and he's in one of the top 3 in the world, his name is starting to get. They have to get his name out there.
It's going to work if Tyson Fury wins his next boxing match. And then that's going to stir up, hey, Tyson Fury is for real.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna. I guarantee between Vasquez and Fury, they're gonna win their matches because just for the simple fact that
save your picks for later.
Dude,
I just feel my person.
So hey, next week we have our confidence pick for Crown Jewel. So you want to save your pick for next week because we have 2 more people, which is our analysts, Hector and Frank. They're going to be in the picture. So we have pretty much a fatal 5-way, which we're going to chase Hector for his HSW heavyweight championship belt. So there's more to come on that. But before we end this Big Show, he's making his comments, but he also is well known of what it is to take a punch, especially from Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd broke his nose, right? He broke his nose. That's right.
So if I was Braun Strowman, he said get these hands, but when you talk about a boxer, I'm sorry, I think a boxer has better hands than anybody.
Well, Tyson's been fighting since he was younger.
And that dude's tall.
Oh yeah,
Tyson Fury. Yeah,
he's a boxer. He has legit boxing skills.
He is tall,
6'9".
What are you gonna do? I mean, me, I would just be standing up there. How are you gonna fight somebody like that?
I'm running.
Imagine I'm a heavyweight, 5'8" versus a 6'9". I'm like,
get close. Don't
let him get that. But I mean, Braun Strowman,
I'll be hitting his knees. All right. So, anyways. we're moving on to our last segment. Also coming up on the podcast as well, I'm going to reiterate of the message I made because of boxing when they were just dissing wrestling. So that cap is coming back. So it's going to be like a less than 3 minute a clip. So I'm going to replay on how wrestling is real or fake. But moving on to the review on the upcoming matches for the Crown Jewels. We have Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez. That's for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We also have Braun Strowman and Tyson Fury, who we just talked about. Seth Rollins will defend his Universal title to Bray Wyatt. I'm sorry, I'm not sold on this. They should have done better in Hell in a Cell. For them, especially both on being the different brands right now, we already know that title is not going to change. So I already expect maybe another disqualification match, which is no disqualification in this match. It's anywhere.
Falls count anywhere.
So, but besides that, I think someone has to interfere. I keep saying this. Someone has to interfere in that match because Seth Rollins still has to keep that belt.
Seth Rollins is going to keep... The thing that I don't like is Bray Wyatt not winning a feud. Original Bray Wyatt could not do that. That's what kept him down. That's what didn't bring him to the heights everyone thought. That's why he wasn't the top heel of the WWE. He could not win a feud. Now you got The Fiend. Everyone loves The Fiend. Everyone's back behind The Fiend. He's got to win a feud for all of us to take him legitimate and take him as a actual good wrestler, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they lost the opportunity to do that at Hell in a Cell. Now we know that we know how these Saudi Arabia cards are, and Seth Rollins is going to retain. So it's upsetting to me. I don't like it.
I agree with you on that one. I'm sorry. The way the whole fiasco happened, it's just at Hell in a Cell. They're going to have a hard time regardless. They can patchwork this thing together, but until you do right by Bray Wyatt, it's not going to work. Yeah. You got to do right by him. You got to do it. They put too much into that, and for it to fall the way it did, they have to do right by him.
Yeah.
You're right. We have Mansoor versus Cesaro. I don't know how that match came about. This is one of those behind the scenes, maybe a Twitter reaction feed or Instagram. And they're going to find themselves on there. Then we have, again, we talked about the Battle Royal winner versus AJ Styles. We don't even know who the participants are. So that's a tight rumor. I mean, they keep that list real tight because normally people will be talking about it already. So that's more to follow. And then what I consider probably the main event, if it's not Seth Rollins, is Team Hogan versus Team Flair. 5-on-5 elimination match to where we have for Team Hogan, we have the captain Roman Reigns, Rusev, Ricochet, Ali, and Shorty G versus captains on Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, King Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. All right, for Team Flair. Out of all those that I mentioned, name me one person that will stand out that probably be last man standing.
I think it's gonna be Drew and Roman, last people standing.
Yeah.
And Roman will probably come out on top, but I feel like, Drew's the next guy. Drew came back from his injury. Things are looking up for him.
Okay. I agree with that. I think it all boils down for the single elimination. It's going to be between Drew and Reigns. And at the end of the day, like I said, I just think the way they set it up, Reigns will come out on top because the way this whole thing is, he's their baby face right now.
Yeah,
they're going to make him, but I just feel Drew, he's going to get his rightful due eventually. But I think they can set up a nice little rivalry back with him and Roman without Shane there, so they can really go. But I think some jewelry got to get put in there somewhere eventually too. I'm
going to pick Roman Reigns as the fact that at the history of WWE, if you go take it back a couple of WrestleManias ago when the D-Generation X, right? Oh, no, we'll take it back. Nope. Triple H versus Sting.
Oh.
Okay. WWE is going to win every time when it comes head to head.
Yeah.
right? Because they got history. WWE beat WCW, all that good stuff. So we're never going to get that fair stuff between those two brands, right? But then you have Team Hogan and Team Flair. I lean more Hogan because Hogan was this 80s guy, but then you also have Ric Flair. You know what I mean? But I think when it comes to passing the brand, because really the brand was Hogan, not Flair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you think of Flair, you think about WCW, right? And that's why I think that Hogan's team is going to win. And because Seth Rollins had the other battle, Roman Reigns. And besides, Roman Reigns is the face of WWE.
Yeah, he's on the cover.
And he's
cover
on
2K20. It's hard not to pick him. He has to.
And he's with the face, the big face that originally started WWE was Hogan. Something they happened to just pair them together. I'm like, that's not my happenstance that happened.
And and like I said, that was a good pick. I knew that was going to happen. And if you had him, then you had Drew McIntyre. It just had to, because these two are the largest men right now. The best heel, the best face, going at it, no problem. But I will tell you this: I'm making it a prediction right now. First man to get eliminated, Rusev.
Ooh, first man to get it. Yeah.
Or matter of fact, they'll cancel each other out between him and Bobby Lashley because they're not going to care about nothing, and they go.
Yeah,
they're gone. See ya.
Right from the start, they just fight and just I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this concludes our show, the Hard Hittin' Wrestling Show. I want to thank you for listening to us. And again, we'll do more follow-ups. I did say that we're going to reach out to all the podcasts out there and do interviews. That's on its way. We're going to make that a separate episode due to time consuming and stuff like that. We'll see how it plays out. So all you listeners, podcast listeners as well, you want to get into our show, just leave a message on hhwshow.com. Also follow us on Twitter, Facebook. More to follow. We got a confidence picks that's coming up next week, and it's going to be pretty amazing to have our full staff together to talk about what's going to happen in Crown Jewels and what also could happen leading up to the Survivor Series. On behalf of the Clovercrest Media, I have Jay Green, Big J's. Until next time, I see you.
Take care.
Deuces.